Damian Green is the big winner so far as Theresa May seeks to shore up her authority in a post-election reshuffle. The Work and Pensions Secretary, a friend and ally of the PM, has been made First Secretary of State, effectively her second in command. Most other ministers have kept their roles, but Liz Truss is moved from Justice to Chief Treasury Secretary. Commons leader David Lidington takes over as Justice Secretary and Lord Chancellor. Chief Treasury Secretary David Gauke has been appointed Work and Pensions Secretary. Mrs. May had been expected to carry out a widespread reshuffle of her top team after Thursday and APO's general election, but her room for maneuver has been limited by her failure to win an overall majority. Most of the cabinet jobs remain unchanged: Secretary of State for the Home Department, Amber Rudd Secretary of State for Foreign and Commonwealth Affairs, Boris Johnson Secretary of State for exiting the European Union, David Davis. Damian Green, who was previously Work and Pensions Secretary and was at university with Mrs. May, has also become Minister for the Cabinet Office, a position left vacant by Ben Gummer, who lost his seat in Thursday and APO's general election. The First Secretary of State is a role previously held by George Osborne, and, under Labour, Peter Mandelson, and could see Mr. Green standing in for Theresa May at Prime Minister and APO's questions when she is not available. The role is periodically used by UK governments and did not exist in Mrs. May and APO's first cabinet, formed after she became Prime Minister in July last year. It does not come with a government department, but does give its holder seniority over other cabinet ministers and is seen as being similar to the role of Deputy Prime Minister. In the latest fallout from the general election result, which confounded pollsters and left the UK with a hung parliament, an influential Conservative MP predicted Tory manifesto policies including on grammar schools would have to be slimmed down. Mrs. May was accused of putting her party interest above the Northern Ireland peace process with the planned DUP alliance. Jeremy Corbyn said he could still be PM and would try to amend the QUEN and APO's speech. Former Tory Chancellor George Osborne described Mrs. May as a dead woman walking. Mr. Fallon said Mrs. May would have to adopt a more collective approach to making decisions. Pro-EU Conservatives predict